Remember when we bought this Honda Elite? Well, we added some more mods to it, and it's time to show you guys what we did. We are back to work on our Honda Elite. We're gonna be tossing some more parts here on this Honda Elite today and making it look a lot better. If you remember last time we got this thing running, we did some really small performance mods that you can do. If you didn't get a chance to watch that video, what we did is we threw on an exhaust. This was a completely bone stock Honda Elite. This is a post 94 model, so it has the good engine. If you know about these Honda Elites, you might find them. They're pretty hard to find, but if you do find them, most of the time they're gonna be pre-94, and that's going to have with an AF05 engine in it. It would be this engine here. For those people who ask me how you can tell the difference, it's going to be a serial number. It's AF16E right there. So the other engine that these comes with is an AF05. They lack a lot of performance. They're a totally different style of engine, and there's barely any aftermarket at all for those engines. For those people who do DM me asking about what parts they should put on their Elite and they have that engine, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're better off just completely scrapping that engine and finding yourself an AF16. It's not worth putting the time into one of those AF05s, and you're not gonna get much out of it. So that's just me being honest. Luckily with this scooter, we had the AF16. And as you saw in the last video, with just some simple mods, we added a belt and a variator and changed the roller weights. Everything else is bone stock, stock clutch, even has the stock contra still in it. And this thing absolutely rips now. It's a wheelie machine. Basically, if you get these Honda Elites here that aren't the SR, they're gonna have restrictions on them. They're gonna be restricted in the pipe and in the variator side. So it probably tops out about 30 miles per hour. If you wanna learn more about that, watch the previous video that we did post on here, and we'll talk more about the restrictions and the small mods you can do without fully building the engine to get some more power out of this. But like I mentioned previously, today we're gonna be focusing more on the looks of this scooter. And we got some more parts to put on today with this scooter, and also kind of being still on the budget build. That was kind of the goal with this thing. Like I said, keeping it stock. We're pretty much just adding a little bit of parts here. A cheap exhaust, maybe a couple $100, I believe that exhaust is. And a variator, I think less than $300 is what we got into the scooter right now. Today is not a necessary mod at all to add performance, but it was a cheap mod, and I've been wanting to do it for a while. I think it's gonna look really, really good. So with that being said, let's jump into it, boys. These are knockoff RPM wheels. So if you know, there's real RPM wheels, there's knockoff wheels. These are the AliExpress's, baby. We slapped some new rubber on there. I got these wheels like a month ago, and I've just been waiting to do this, but I went ahead and put the tires on as well. So we got some brand new, fresh Kenda tires on there. As you can see, these ones are pretty dry rotted, so I didn't want to worry about swapping tires. And we also went tubeless, as these stock rims are tube tires. As you can see here, look at the valve stem. You can tell that's a tube tire. And this is my first time ever adding aftermarket wheels to one of these scooters and not going with a disc brake front end. So we're maintaining the drum brake front and drum brake rear just to keep it, like I said, budget friendly. Obviously, back one, we're gonna take out the pipe, slap that bad boy on. The front one's gonna be a little different. The front one actually has an actual drum that goes onto the wheel that does not come with these wheels. So that's white. We're gonna sand that down, get that painted black, and hopefully get this thing spiced up. We also got a lot of work to do on cleaning up this scooter. If you remember, when we got this thing, it was covered in stickers in the front. This thing was a pit bike for a racer who used to pretty much use this just to get around in the pits. It had actual pit bike stamps on here, like to be verified in the pits. It was pretty sick, but wasn't fitting for our build. So we got a lot of residue all over this thing that we're gonna try to clean up and save this panel. Also got options for our seat. So seat is very, very ripped. Ended up buying an OEM style cover here for the Honda, but I'm not sure we're even gonna go that route, because you'll see here later in this video, I decided to go a different route. And a few more things that we're gonna be adding to this bike today. We got some OEM drum brakes here for the rear. Always go with the OEM ones. I feel like they're the best brake pads always on any scooter. And we got a side stand. This kickstand on this bike right now is super bent. As you can see, it almost looks like it's been repaired a couple times, but it's so bent that the back wheel's touching the ground while it's on the stand right now. That is not how it is stock. This thing should be vertical. It's all bent out there. This is very common for people who sit on their bikes on the kickstand, and you'll bend that bracket or you'll bend the stand itself. It's also not my favorite to have those center stands, because sometimes they hit the pipe. You also run into the issue where you have to put it on the center stand to kickstart the bike. It becomes a pain. I'm a big fan of side stands on bikes. That's just the way I always go. So with this specific side stand, it has a bracket. As you can see, you're supposed to drill 2 holes in the bottom down there by the motor mount, or we can kind of slide it under the bike and just throw a couple welds I've done that before as well. So I'm not sure which route we're going to take, but we'll figure that out when we get there, because it is time to strip this bike apart. So we started taking off everything necessary, especially the exhaust, because we have to get that back wheel out of there. So loosen up that brake cable, slide this wheel off, and get this thing ready to throw on our new wheel with our fresh brake pads. All right, I pulled it outside so I can clean it off. Some carb cleaner. We got her all shining in there now. It's looking a lot better. Still gonna come in with the wet rag and wipe it down, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw the wheel on while I'm out here. So toss these new brake drums in, and we'll get it all wiped down. But I wanna throw the new wheel on now, so when I roll it back inside, I don't have to do a swap again with this wheel. So let's get the new brake drums on now. Easy enough. These kind of just got to work in there. You got to find the sweet spot to get one locked in there, like so. You can just pry this one up too, just like that. Now that we have our front wheel here hanging in the air by the straps above, we are able to pop off this front wheel. So let's get to it, boys. This is the part that we're gonna have to figure out some paint for right here. But before we get too far, I'm gonna go ahead and test fit the other wheel just to make sure everything works here, because I've never really done the drum ones. Before we go through all this work, imagine painting everything and then it doesn't work. Looks like it fits pretty good. We got our hub all painted now. As you can see, we went with a Steel It Black because it matches the wheels, which are like anodized. So it's a little bit like of a matte satin black, if you will. So throw that on there now, and we just cleaned up everything using some Simple Green in here on the suspension. So now it's only time to throw the front wheel on, get this thing back on the ground, see how we're looking. This perfect match with the paint on here now. All right, now that we got both our wheels on there, it is time we remove this center stand here. So first thing we're gonna do is obviously pop this little cotter pin off. I have to hit it with the old breakaroo trick. This cotter pin is so old, it's just literally snapping in my hands. So at this point, I'm just gonna break it out. There she goes. It literally broke in 3 pieces just trying to unfold it. That's funny. There we go. Center stand removed, just like that. Not sure if those are normal, but that one's for sure not normal. So I take it this leg snapped off. We got something going on here with some zip ties. Interesting setup going on there, but it's removed. Gonna try to show you real quick what we're looking like right now on the side stand. It's a little hard, but dog toys everywhere in this house, man. The side stand is designed, as you see right here, to go right here, to go right over that bolt. Now, that is in case you want to bolt it in, right? But if you ever want to remove this mount right there, you're gonna have to remove the side stand, which is already hard to do with that mountain. It's kind of a pain both ways. So if you look, this mount right here, this engine mount goes to here, the bolts would go underneath it. I think I'm gonna do with what I did on my Purple Elite, and that was to weld it more farther up, right about up here. That will also save when it folds up. It would usually be about right here, almost touching this, and you kind of have to either add a tack weld in right here on the bracket or figure out an exact way to mount it so it doesn't hit the kicker case. With that being said, I'm gonna clean up some of this metal down here, and then we got our welder out already, so clean up that metal and we're gonna throw a weld on it. And here's how we're looking on the kickstand. We threw a bead across the back there, and then the same thing on the front, and then I also threw little bits, some welds on each side of this, and that's it. Painted it, doesn't hit the kicker at all, stops perfect, and obviously sticks out just enough. Slick, drop it down, boom, side stand, boys. All right, the Elite is coming out absolutely amazing. I have cleaned up every crevice of this bike now except for the inner panels. As you can see, they're a little faded, so we're gonna put in some love and some work on finalizing those later on. We went and got about 3 hours of work in to removing all the sticker residue that was on the front of this. As you saw in the previous clips, that wasn't even at its worst. There was like 20 stickers all over the front of this hood. This was all messed up. There's some scratches over here, but the residue was just insane. You could still see where the sun kind of faded around where these stickers were. I'm gonna go ahead and polish this and try to get it a little bit better. We'll end up doing that probably next time. We got a few more things to add to this last minute stuff. So here we got an Elite taillight. It fits so much better. It hides right in the crevice and follows the trim of that panel right there, rather than this being your usual US spec one that's huge. It's on the rack itself and it sticks out the bike about yay far. It looks hideous. So from our good old boys at Scooter Swap Shop, you know, S23, we got that JDM tail. We also got this spacer, which is very, very simple. It just basically spaces out our Kickstarter cover, because once you add an aftermarket variator in pieces like that, you realize you have to run washers in there. So right now I have a bunch of washers in there to create this gap so the Kickstarter doesn't bind. Run this little spacer here, gives you just enough space to do so. So first thing we're gonna do is get this taillight wired up. I filmed a whole video on how to do this before, and I'll put that link right here, because I'm not gonna go into too much detail, because like I've said, I've done it before. So I'm gonna go ahead, get started on wiring this up, get this in there, get our plastics back on, and get a good look at this bike. We also got our new seat cover in the mail, and we'll be installing that just after that. We got the JDM tail sitting perfectly flush inside this plastic. Completely changed the look of this. Speaking of changing the looks, we went ahead and started stripping off our seat cover that was on the original seat. And like you saw, we had an original seat cover, another OEM style one that we were gonna put on, but I decided to go ahead and order a brand new Thrill Seeker seat cover. Before we could throw the seat cover on, we had to fix the cracks in the foam. Luckily, it wasn't any foam missing. It was just the heat, when it ripped the cover, made the foam spread open. So I read online and I saw a few people use duct tape to put that together. I was kind of hesitant on it, but I went ahead and tried, and it actually held together the foam yet again. Boys, this is how we are looking on the Elite now. We got our new seat cover on there. As you can see, we got the Matador Special on there. Repping the Matador on this scooter, obviously, as you could tell. Last time we went through, we got it engine-wise dialed, pipe and everything. This time we got the looks. We got the JDM tail sitting perfectly flush. We got our new wheels sitting on there pretty, repping with the yellow strips to match the rest of the bike. And like I thought, the duct tape worked completely perfect. You cannot feel or see that big crack that was in the foam in the seat at all, and you cannot see the duct tape at all either. I knew the seat cover was thick, so it was gonna hide that. As you can see, it's a Thrill Seeker seat. So I have these on a lot of my Zumas. I didn't even know they made them for the Honda Elite, and they do now. And that is it for the Honda Elite for this video. This scooter has kind of been the budget build, if you will. It's still a stock 50cc, and it's still a fun, perfect little stunt bike. And as always, most of the parts bought on any of these videos is going to be from Scooter Swap Shop. The link will be down in the description down below. Use code MOPBOYZ, you can save some of that money. And I'll see you guys in the next video.